And welcome back to Loosey Goosing D&D. So we already recorded this, but the weird distortion or corruption that happened with the last episode happened to this one too. So I didn't want to send another thing for Tyler to fix. So we're just redoing it.
Oh, right. So, right. Check the description for trigger warnings, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I will start reading that off. So I will just start at the very beginning then.
Okay.
Metal only exists for them because Zon's parents wanted to appear more sympathetic to the public and like gain favor, stuff like that. And so when Metal came out, they also twisted that to look better. Um,
Is there anything else, or do you want to get to the questions?
I'm just trying to figure out how to like transition,
Yeah.
from that to the bar.
Well, I can just talk about Alphonse because we lost that part. So,
Yeah, sure.
so how Alphonse met Matal, I don't know the age because I do not know Earl Cochrane's that well. Um, I
Probably
know that, but what would be young
late.
teen?
A young teen would be about
Mhm.
3 or 5.
Okay, so I was just asking my brother real quick. He is a D&D nerd, and so I would say about 4 years old. When Matal was 4 years old,
Hmm.
Matal went to one of Alfron's charities, which helped homeless people get a job as a trucker, so they would have a home, a job, and a vehicle all in one. And eventually, he was interested in Matal because this was a rich kid he thought was spoiled, rotten, and he honestly did not like Matal's parents. So when he saw how Mattel was so careful and so kind to the homeless people, he kind of took them underneath his wing, metaphorically. And yeah, it eventually turned into a full length relationship where it's your character, but I would say eventually Mattel would go to his house more than Don's own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to.
All right. Since you have less questions, I'll ask my questions first.
Okay.
Let me get that pulled up. Frost. This is a perfect one. Tell me all the lore about the little creature because we had Frost. The only thing we
Ooh.
had Frost do is watch the bodies that you took to the final battle.
Yep. So Frost is a worm, WIRM. They're sort of like a fantasy creature I made up. But the deal with Frost specifically is that they are a certified therapist and emotional support animal. And ooh, and they got contracted by Metal's parents. Let's just say after that had a particularly bad day. And so Frost just kind of goes with Metal wherever Dawn goes.
Perfect. Now that's the lore that we've been needing because yeah, I wish for your sake that we could have done more Frost, but maybe it's possible we could have another one of the worms in the next season.
Yeah, I've been playing around with the idea of having them just kind of exist inside our.
Yeah, I would assume that Metal would breed them or something like that.
Mm, I mean,
Or
it's more they're on the level of like humanoids for sentience, so
oh, okay.
it's more
So,
just bringing a bunch of them here if they
well,
want to.
here's the thing. There's a bit of a lore that you guys won't. I assume most people are gonna listen to this episode, but whoever does, I'm saying, uh, for this world, who is bringing all these frags and the people is not the land, it's someone. So it's very plausible that this someone would bring the worms to help with Metal's new version of Sidar.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, I can see that.
Okay. Next question. What part of yourself did you put in Metal? And I should preface this by telling the people that Blizzard has told me several times that most of their characters have a part of them in it. So this is why I asked the question.
Um, Metal actually carries is more of Dawn's own person than most of my characters, but the being non-binary, um, and probably a bit of the not liking being attached to others or something like that, because my family, my parents are divorced and we've moved a lot, so there's I haven't really been able to make and keep friends very well. And so
Uh,
that's kind of a recurring thing with most of my characters.
well, hopefully we can change that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this will be a fun one. What what would be Metal's favorite pastime after the
Oh
Emperor's
yeah.
death?
So Don already does like crocheting and quilting. It was mainly, you know, something productive that'll help others.
Right.
But afterwards, Don will also decide to learn Russian because Don's parents never took the time to teach it to Don, and keep up with um, keep their Klingon up as well because metal is a tricky.
Right. Okay.
Um, yeah.
You were gonna say something, or
Well, yeah, I've also considered the idea of metal creating like sort of a sign language that can only be used by people with wings, you know?
I'd like that. Um,
Yeah.
we could homebrew that.
Yeah.
um, here. Okay. With making metal, this is an interesting one. Did you think that Adam would fall in love with anyone? Mm,
It wasn't like it was probably somewhere in the back of my mind, but I don't think I ever expected anything to actually happen.
right, because at that time we believed we were only having a few sessions before we would end. So that makes
Yeah, like
sense.
we didn't really know.
And when did you get that idea?
Uh, it was the first inkling of it was I wanted metal to be like lift up Datari's visor in sort of a flirty way and,
Mm-hmm.
figure out. Yeah, but the entire arc really came about after I was watching somebody else's Slay the Princess playthrough, and I realized like, hey, this could be a whole thing, and it just grew from there.
Really cool. I like that. I mean, I like that you were able to put this into the uh campaign into the story. Yeah, I had no qualms about that. Uh the stealing money incident. Just well, I already know, but just do a little refresh for the
Yeah, Don lost on well, the punishment for that was Don lost Don's pet in a very it was not description. It wasn't fun for really anybody involved. Like it wasn't just abandoning it at a shelter and such. And in addition to that, Don got like minimal food for 2 weeks.
so we got abusive parents for Metal as well, and that's honestly a bit like you probably don't know this. I don't know, but a lot of times there's this cliche of abandonment for D&D characters. I think this is almost like this has more opportunity for role playing than that because this has real trauma, and I would expect. I'm not saying anything, but it might be from some experience as well.
I mean, probably not something to that level, but again, I don't
Right.
really remember a lot from when I was younger.
Okay. Next up, what about this campaign got you so into character? Like, I believe after the second session, you had hyper focused onto this, and I felt honestly, a
Oh
bit
yeah,
bad, and still do.
it wasn't. It wasn't. Well, I technically it was you, yes, but it was really me realizing the story arc I wanted Metal to have.
Um, yeah, I mean, I understand that. Um, and when I was making this campaign, I really wanted to succeed because of other times I've done something similar to this and it has failed. So this might have been, yeah, one of those last attempt to try to get it working. Okay, this next one plays into that. Um, good things I did in this campaign and this like DMing, anything I could do better for next one. This is just mostly not for my insecurities. It's mostly 90% for how can I do better next season. I don't want to make the same mistakes as this one because I know I made mistakes.
Nothing like I really like the world of Cider and the entire concept. Um my biggest complaint is that Metal almost died in almost every fight, but you very well know that.
Yeah. Oh,
Nothing else really springs to mind.
okay. Yeah. What? I forget what class are you playing next season?
I a rogue.
A rogue. Okay. I'm gonna probably have to give you a magic item for that because rogues deal most of their damage to sneak attack. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll be stealthy, so you'll be less likely to be hit or even seen. So yeah, I'm sorry. It's just kind of hard when most of the time I wasn't targeting just you, but when I have something where I can only hit Master Uruguay if I get a nat 20, but I can get you
Yeah.
almost certainly, then you know how it is.
AC 11.
He's 11.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, how
yeah,
I forget how good Roberta is.
yeah,
Keep going.
you were a squishy character. Your next character. So We can do. We did talked about it in the last one, but I think we should just wait until the campaign starts. Um, Bit of spoilers. He's gonna be an absolute jerk, and we're gonna make him go through the hero's journey. But and I expect by
Oh
the
yeah.
end he will be affected by this. But at the beginning, I just want to gauge on how far he is a jerk. Would Metal's death affect him, and how?
He would not want to admit it, but it would. He does really care about his family deep down, but it's lied to itself so much that he just kind of believes it at this point.
All right. Okay. Perfect. That helps me with that.
So kill them.
I have an idea. I have an ideas. I
Come on.
won't. I I might not kill Matal, but it's how the dice go. It's how the dice roll.
Okay.
Okay, my last question. Um, and this is one that I came up later. How did you get the voice? I am horrible at character voice, as you can tell through this campaign. You know it from almost the very beginning. Like, how did you do it so well? Where did that voice come from?
It's my voice, but with an accent on top.
Okay, well,
I yeah, it doesn't really help, but it accents are just kind of a thing that comes up in my voice sometimes. So if we ever actually do manage to meet in real life, you'll probably hear me go into like Scottish or Russian. I haven't done Russian in a while, but maybe Russian and, English/British. I'm not entirely sure.
oh, that's interesting. I have a slight idea why, but do you know why? Like,
Not exactly.
that's really interesting. I didn't know
It's just
that.
kind of, yeah, since I gave Metal the accent that I actually switch into the most, I was doing my best to not uh slip myself into that
That's really
to
interesting.
distinguish. Devoto only has an AC of 12, by the way.
You're improving. Good job. Soon, eventually, you'll have an AC of 15. Don't worry. Someday you'll have it.
I was curious if like part of the equipment we'd get was like armor or something like that in the
Well,
next campaign.
well, you'll find out. I mean, uh,
I
a
suppose I
little
will.
a little spoiler is the first session is going to be work training, basically.
Ooh,
So yeah, you might not. So
okay.
so you had a few questions for me.
Yeah, and then after that I should probably talk about Michael. Yeah. Oh, just had to remember where I put them. So, um, what was the inspiration for Sayadar in the campaign?
So most of it was done in like I made it all completely by myself, but a
Wow.
majority the inspiration comes from one. This is less of it. I really like Loki and the multiverse X thing about that, but most of the
Oh,
inspiration
yeah.
came from actually this podcast because this is a long story, but the thing that convinced all of us to do this podcast in the first place is we had a one shot on my birthday, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And half the players of that one shot decided to do the same person as the one shot, so the multiversal variants of that one shot in our new campaign. I did something different as Togor Whitesides, and that inspired me. Oh, what about multiversal stuff? And Togor Whiteside's my character. I don't know if you've listened to the podcast, the first few episodes, but
I'm on episode 3.
Togor Whitesides is basically a multiversal traveler who goes to different universes looking for his dad who abandoned him at birth. So
Wow.
yeah, I really like that character, and I wish I could play more. That's why you see references to him, though I should probably stop in almost everything I do, almost everything of D&D I do. But yeah, that was my inspiration. I was start thinking I like this multiversal stuff. What if I do evil emperor about to do something evil and it's heroes gathered? That was my starting point. And then I started thinking more and more, and that's how I came up with the world of Sidar. The name Sidar is actually from not my own, but it's from the Wheel of Time.
Hmm. That's really cool. Okay. So I don't think I have any more questions.
You send them to me in direct messages.
Yeah. I basically just combined both of them into the one.
Okay. Inspiration. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Did you just think of any more
Yeah.
while you're talking about Michael? Just ask me.
Yeah. So, a couple more things about metal. Michael, right? Yeah, I was going to talk about him. So, he was Metal's bodyguard that Don's parents hired for Don when Don was a child, and even he may have been hired as a bodyguard, but he was really the Alphons before Alphons. He wouldn't smile a lot, except Metal was really the only person like of what Metal saw. Don was the only person he would smile at, and so like they were very close, and he actually got shot and killed in front of Metal, and Don feels responsible for that. So that's part of why uh, um, Don doesn't like getting other people into danger, or why Don feels so responsible when other people are hurt.
Right. So this is touching. I like it. You put so much depth in this character. I actually have a build-up question after that. After
Ooh,
Michael died, did Metal's parents hire another bodyguard, and Metal just didn't bond with him or her the same way?
I don't know if they cared enough to, honestly.
So they just let one die and didn't get another one?
I guess, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. This was a good one. I liked looking more into your character. Um, I will contact you if it is all right. Hopefully the audio is all right, but yeah. Thank you. See you in 2 weeks for
Yes.
the next campaign starts.
See you later.
Goodbye. 2, 3.